Alright, this is the outside of my pantry door. You guys ready to see what it looks like on the inside? A disaster. Okay, well, this is my tiny pantry. As you can see, I only have 5 shelves and they are only about 11 inches deep by 30 inches wide. So not very much room at all. You can see that I've had an attempt of some organization with these Dollar Tree bins. And I'll be honest with you, they just didn't really work for me. The labels wouldn't stick to the sides because of all the holes, so I put them on the top, but they just weren't big enough for the items I was trying to contain. So I believe that I picked some better baskets this time around at Michael's, and I'll show those to you guys here in a bit. But on my door, I have this shelf, this rack that I picked up from the Container Store a few years ago, and I really love it. It's part of their Alpha line. And they do put those on sale a couple times a year, so I would definitely take advantage of that if you need some more storage space in your pantry. These are wide enough that they will fit like canned goods and stuff like that, but as you can see, I have a lot of spices, so I chose to use it for my spices. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get this all emptied out, and then we will go ahead and get back to you. Actually, I forgot to show you one more thing. You want to know what happens when you have a tiny pantry that isn't organized? Look at that. It spills over onto your countertop. That is just crazy. I would love to say that it's only been like that for a few days, but that would totally be a lie. I think it's been like that for a couple of months now. And yeah, crazy. Anyway, I do have some food in this cabinet because, again, tiny pantry. So I will go through both of these, the cabinet and the pantry, and hopefully by the time we're done, we will be left with nothing on that counter. So, all right, let's get started.
I wanted to show you guys this. I thought it was so funny. I found this picture on my computer. It's from January of 2016, and you can see that I actually have a lot of the exact same things in my pantry now than I did back then. I just need to organize them a bit better. I started by taking a look at everything I had in my pantry. Then I went to Michael's to find some baskets to sort things out by like item.
Okay, so these are the baskets I decided to go with. I got 4 of these. I think this is the large. They're regularly $20. Unfortunately, they were not on sale this week, but I did have a 40% off one item and then 25% off my entire order coupon. So I got 25% off the big ticket item and then 25% off everything else. So I got 4 of these, the large, again, regular price $20. This medium regular price was $14.99 on that one. And then over here, so these two here, I got 2 of these. Let me see, you can see regular price on that is $16.99. And I got these for my onions and my potatoes. So I'm going to keep those in there. And then I also wanted a large basket to keep at the bottom for my reusable bags. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go with this one here. I saw this one first, and what I liked about this one is that they would fit perfectly in here laying flat. But then I saw these, and again, I liked these for my onion and potato, and of course this one matches. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to use yet. I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out, and then I will decide what to use. But I just wanted to show you guys what we're starting with. Alright, so my package just came in. I wanted to show you guys. I got this 4-pack of bottles for my oils. And I also got some square glass spice jars, just so I can have a little bit more of a uniform look in the pantry. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out and get them washed. and then put them together. Okay, so pantry is empty. The cabinet is empty. That stuff up there is staying there. I might pull some of those bags on the right down to refill some of my containers, but other than that, that stays as is. You can see all of the spices here, and that's everything that was already on the counter before. And this is everything that was in the pantry and the cabinet. So I have several containers. Here I've got like oils and vinegars and sauces and that kind of thing here. Got some like 4 or 5 different types of honey. Got my oils here. I've got some baking stuff back there. I've got snacks and chips and just different little packages. Okay, and I have several different pastas here. This here, I bought this and I just don't think we're ever going to use it, so I'm going to get rid of this. We tried this orzo and did not like it. There's still some in there, but honestly I don't think it's enough to do anything with, so I might just try it. I might just toss that. We really like this one. This is the orzo that we like. And then I have some other things here that I'll probably not use, like those elbows, and then I have some large jumbo shells back there that I'm sure we will not use as well. I've got some rice back here, some panko breadcrumbs, some snacks, had some paper bags there, got some canned goods. This bin is all like drink related stuff, some condiments, pasta sauces, and different types of peanut butter, and then this the drink thing. But okay, so this was everything that was oh, and then these, I found these in the very back at the top behind those OXO containers, behind these containers here, and it is brand new, never opened, and look at that. It expired in June. So that was a complete waste. Those will be going in the trash. Right now it's time to sort everything and start organizing. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it down. I've got my Norwex kitchen cloth here, and I went with this one because of the ridges. So if there are any crumbs up here, it'll go ahead and grab those too. So right now I'm just kind of playing around with the layout of the shelves and the baskets, and I think I'm happy with this. I still have the smaller basket like this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not. And then I have the other large basket that was a little bit lighter for the bottom, but I think I like the way that one looks better. So I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and start putting stuff back and see what it looks like at the end. Stop what you're doing and wait for your thoughts to come around. Don't say the words, it's too late. It's too late to time it on. If you just stay, we can wait till tomorrow. Just stay the night, just stay the night. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna kind of go in stages here. I have, when possible, when I have the time, I do like to make my own pasta sauce, but I do keep some jars of pasta sauce here for backup, just in case. And then I've got all of my pastas back here as well. And these go in the cabinet, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in real quick. I will be right back. Let's make the stars collide. Let's tear the whole thing down, down. I'll be here by your side, whatever gets you through the night. I know we'll make it right. I know we'll make it right. Wait. Just keep
the thought in your head. Give me a moment to forget you. You've got it all figured out now, but it's too late to turn it on. If you just stay, we can wait till tomorrow. Just stay the night, just stay the night. Let's make the stars collide. Let's tear the whole thing down, down. I'll be here by your side, whatever gets you through the night. I know we'll make it right. I know we'll make it right.
Okay, so I've already taken the bottles and the jars and I've run them through the dishwasher, so they're all nice and clean. All the parts got cleaned. I'm going to take these 4 bottles now and use them for the 4 different types of oil. One for a little more uniformity, but also to save some space in the pantry because you guys saw how small it was. These are the labels that came with the spice jar. These are one of the labels, and it includes blank ones, so I'm gonna go ahead and write down the different types of oil on here, just so that I can put it on here and it'll look good with the spice jars as well. I am using my Crafty Crock liquid chalk markers. I really like the way these work. I've been using these for a few years now. I'll link them. I got them on Amazon. I'll link them down below, but they come in multiple colors. And one thing that I like about them is the tip is reversible. You can pull the tip out and see how it's chiseled on one end and then it's like a straight point on the other one. Okay, so I ended up using just the tip from one of the tips from the chisel end to go ahead and write the words, and you can see the other ones erased nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on the bottles and then fill them up.
I gotta wait for better days. It's all starting now. It's not too late, we can be saved. If we make the time, it's gonna be your...
Oh, one thing I don't think I showed you guys. Look, what I like about this is, you hear that click? So you can actually seal it off. I was looking for some bottles like this at like Marshall's and Ross and that kind of thing, and I didn't find any that would actually seal. They were just loose in there. So when I saw these on Amazon, I thought I'd give them a try, and of course I haven't used them yet, but looks like they have a pretty good grip. So basically, for the same amount of space that 2 of those bottles were taking up, I get all 4, and that's not even including the depth.
Right. Had a clue, now I got a feeling. Just gotta hold on tight.
Okay, so now we're gonna get started with the spices. I have 14 of these glass jars that I got from Amazon. So I pulled out 14 spices that are in these plastic bottles, and then also some that I just buy in the bulk section of the grocery store. So I'm gonna start off with these, and then if I need extra, I do have these little mason jars that I picked up at Michael's. I really like the way these look here, but they're not great for spices. However, I was thinking I might put what's left of my vanilla extract in there. I don't have that much left, so I might use one of these for the vanilla extract. I'm just not quite sure yet, but let's go ahead and get started with the spices and we shall see. So I like that it comes with all these labels, but so far these round stickers are not very easy to pull off the paper. Okay, so I'm done with the labeling part. I have one for each of these spices. And then I remembered that I had these large spice containers as well that I get at Costco. So I went ahead and did these 3 instead of these 3, because these don't take up too much space and I have plenty of room for those on that top shelf. So, and I went ahead and labeled that little glass bottle for the vanilla extract as well. So let me go ahead and start filling them now, and we'll see what they look like. Okay, so these came with this little collapsible funnel. So again, all of this has already been washed. I ran it through the dishwasher. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start filling up the jars.
Tonight, tonight, we're gonna be stronger. This is our fight. We're gonna be stronger. We won't back out of this fight. Have no regrets. Just hold your breath and then
Can y'all hear that? It's my neighbor's dogs. They love to bark, so sorry about that. Nothing I can do about it. I've tried waiting until they're not out to film. I've tried filming and then refilming because of the barking in the background. And what that has led to is a couple weeks with no uploads at all. So I decided it is what it is. Sometimes my videos are just gonna have barking dogs in them, so all right. So now I'm just gonna go through and snap all of the lids on. I love to cook and I love to add spices and herbs to my meals. Alright, so this is a close-up of what they look like before I put the lids on. They had a label for everything with the exception of the Thai seasoning. But everything else, they had a label for me. So it looks nice and uniform. Again, it's just that Thai seasoning I had to write it for. Alright, so I've got all the lids on, and now what I'm doing is I am labeling the lids. I decided to use the clear labels that come with the jars for the tops. So I've got the black round circles on the top, and then I've got the clear labels on the lid. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that real quick, but the reason I came back now is because I wanted to show y'all that these clear ones do lift up easily. So these are definitely easier to use, or not easier to use, but easier to grab than the black label ones. These don't seem to get stuck like the other ones did. I have not had any trouble with any of these. Here you can see all of the jars that we filled, again with the chalkboard labels on the front and then the clear labels with black writing on the top. Okay, so when I was putting these back in here, I noticed that one of these small jars was a paprika one as well. So I went ahead and put that into this glass paprika jar. All right, now it's time to go through the after. So in the back behind those bits, you could see it's where I put the extra bottles of oil, the larger bottles, and then I also have the larger containers of spices that I buy in bulk at Costco. So they're not taking up any extra room. That's just space that I didn't really use before. And then behind this brown sugar and panko, you can see I've got my spaghetti and lasagna noodles. So there's a lot less on the second shelf. I picked up some pickles. I did run to the store after I pulled everything out to go get a a Lazy Susan. And I picked up a couple of things while I was there. So you might see a few things in the after that you didn't see in the before. And you can see I actually did not end up using the Lazy Susan. I wanted it for the oils, for those glass bottles of oil. But when I put the Lazy Susan in there, then they became too tall for the shelf. So I went ahead and pulled it out, and I will be returning that. So let me just kind of move the light out of the way so I can give you guys a quick peek into each of these. So you can see this is salad toppings. So I've got some nuts, some honey roasted nuts, some dried raspberries, almonds, crispy red peppers, some croutons. In here I've also got some more nuts. I've got sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, cashews, peanuts, pecans. So just different things we like to put on our salad. We've got our breakfast bin here. So we have a pancake mix with some syrup, some instant oatmeal, and a couple bags of cereal back there. We're not very big cereal eaters or pancake eaters for that matter. We normally do some kind of an egg dish for breakfast, so we don't have too much cereal. I didn't feel the need to take up one of my OXO containers for the cereal, so I just kept them in the breakfast bin. And then this bin here is full of drink stuff, so drink related items. We've got the syrups for the kids will occasionally make Italian cream sodas, and then we've just got different flavored drink mixes. I put the sweet and low in here too because it's the only time we ever use it. And then, I don't know, we might end up just getting rid of this. I've had this for a very long time. They don't normally drink this stuff, but every now and then they'll have some. And then just like some smoothie mixes. And then this is our bread box here. So we've got this. This is really good. We get this at our local grocery store. It is rosemary sourdough bread, and it is so good. And then we like the honey wheat bread. We've got some hamburger buns and some brown sugar and cinnamon bread that my son likes to use for French toast. And then I also put some like crunchy taco shells in there. And then down at the bottom shelf, I've got a chip container. So I actually like the way this looks better with these pulled in. So I left them in, but you can have them come out and be dangling too. So anyway, we've got tortilla chips, pita chips, a couple potato chips. This is extra condiments and just kind of extras in general. I've got mayonnaise, ketchup, ranch. I do have a chicken stock back there. And a V8, I know technically that's a drink, but we don't drink it. I use it when I make like shrimp cocktail. And then in our snack bin, I've got things like popcorn, dried fruit, pretzels, some little, let's see, what do I have? I have nut mixes, corn nuts, and I think I have a bag of candy in there as well. And then down here, I'm going to pull this out. So I've got our trash bags. Sometimes my kids will go somewhere where they can't really bring a lunch box. So I will pack that in a brown paper bag so they can recycle it afterwards. I have an actual lunch box. I have a couple paper bags in case someone comes over and I send them home with stuff. I can give them a paper bag. And then technically this is a lunchbox as well, and I do use it as a lunchbox sometimes, but most of the time I use it to corral my reusable grocery bags and my reusable produce bags. So this just stays down there, and then I do have a stepping stool over to the side in case my daughter needs to reach something off the top shelf. Alright, so now we're off to the spices on the door. My top shelf didn't really change much. And then I still have the small bottles down here on the second shelf. I did add a couple bottles to the side here. You've got the regular sesame seeds, the toasted sesame seeds, and the cinnamon sticks. And then here are those new bottles that I got. And again, I didn't have enough for all of them. I had 14 bottles. My main goal was to get rid of the plastic bottles. So I was able to do that. So I've got a Cajun, cayenne, I did put them in alphabetical order, chili powder, the cinnamon, cumin, fennel, garlic, minced garlic, and garlic powder. So this is regular garlic, and then this is garlic powder with parsley in it. And then the only ones you can see, I actually have room to do a double row here, but the only one that I have that way is the one on the end. I've got my Italian seasonings in the front and my Italian herbs. This is actually the Tuscan herb that was in the little bag. And then the others, as you can see, are all a single layer. And then the Thai spice was the only one I actually had to write in that they didn't have the pre-printed label for. And then these are a little bit larger spices. Now technically these can go in my baking bin in the cabinet, but that bin is pretty full and I have the room here, so I decided to just leave them there. And then this shelf here is pretty much all, well, I was gonna say all salt and pepper, but this is not. This is really good. If you guys haven't tried that, the no salt seasoning from Costco, I like to use that. And then this is truffle with salt. Okay, now here, these all used to be on a shelf before. So I've got my balsamic vinegars, I've got white wine vinegar, this is sesame oil, I've got a garlic and herb sunflower oil, rice wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, some different sauces. And then here are just different sprays for the grill and olive and canola. And then my one box of Ziploc bags. We try not to use those very much, but every now and then we do need some. And then I put the different types of peanut butters down here also to get them off the shelf, just because I had the room on the door now. So I decided to do that. But here's an overall view of the pantry one last time. Definitely a lot more space. These salt and sugar containers here, I normally do these if I have to measure. I very rarely, well, I guess when I'm baking I do measure, but I have them in these containers because it's easy to put measuring spoons in there. And then if you remember, I transferred the vanilla extract to this little glass jar bottle here. And then I have several honeys that we need to go through. Don't have much of those left, so I guess I could put my maple syrup up here. All right, so I really like the way it turned out. Again, all of those baskets came from Michael's. Any products that I showed you guys, the labels, the bins, all that stuff, I will link those down below. All right, so here's the top two shelves of the cabinet that's right next to the pantry. I did move a couple things into my baking basket up there, like the Caro syrup, because I only use that when I'm making pecan pies, and also my Wilton cake spray. So I moved those into the baking bin. I've got a few other things I added to the top shelf. And then this second shelf here is now almost completely empty, with the exception of a couple of brownie mixes and a cornbread mix.
On the third shelf, I have the pasta to the left and the pasta sauce to the right.
I did have to run to the store in between to pick up some more flour and I think sugar, just a few things that we were running low on that I realized we were running low on as I emptied the pantry. So I did pick up a few more canned tomatoes. I don't normally keep a lot of canned foods in stock. I prefer my vegetables to either be fresh or frozen. So other than tomatoes, and occasionally we'll do some canned beans, and then I use that cream of chicken soup in a hash brown casserole dish, and then I do have a can of pineapples back there in pineapple juice because my husband likes those. But oh, and the can of tuna, of course. But other than that, we don't really keep a lot of canned goods. And then I've got my chia seeds and a coconut panko that I have not tried yet, but I plan on making some coconut shrimp, so I was going to try it on that. Guys, I almost forgot to show you. Look at my counter. Do you remember before this thing was full, literally from the counter up to the cabinet, of just random junk that we couldn't fit into the pantry or cabinet anymore, so it would just pile on the counter. And yeah, now it's nice and clean, and I can actually set some decorations up on there. So very, very happy with the way this turned out. Okay, I wanted to share with you guys how much stuff I actually got rid of. So some of the stuff was either expired, and honestly not much of it was expired because I do go through the food pretty regularly just to make sure. But some of the stuff is stuff that I bought thinking I would use it, and I haven't, so I'm just going to go ahead and donate it. If it's still good, of course, I'll donate it. If it's either already been opened or expired, then the food will go in the trash and the packaging will go in the recycle bin. But I wanted to share with you guys just so you can see how much I actually got rid of.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a super long video, but that does lead me to a question for you. Do you guys prefer these longer videos where I'm actually showing you the footage of the process, or would you rather have a shorter video with just the before and after? Just let me know in the comments below, because I definitely want to make videos that you guys want. And if you did like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week.